Irreplaceable Italian stadiums. Among Europe's top leagues, Italian football is truly special and one of a kind. This is where stars who might be seen as too old in other leagues still shine. And this is also where stadiums that would have been replaced long ago in other countries still play a major role. Surrounded by historic places and beautiful natural scenery, Italy is home to old, legendary stadiums, but also to arenas built in this century. From the worst to the best, we ranked them according to our own criteria. Let's begin. StadiumDB.com presents Serie A and Live Stadium Ranking, Season 2026-2027. 18th place, Stadio Giuseppe Sinigallia, capacity 12,379, Como Calcio. This intimate and, at the same time, the second smallest stadium in the league now faces one of the most important challenges in its history. Located on the shores of Lake Como, the stadium has long been considered one of the most picturesque in Italy, but its infrastructure clearly lags behind the club's sporting ambitions. The capacity will be slightly increased for this season, while in the future, there are plans to build a modern, though still relatively small stadium on the same site. 17th place, Stadio Pier Luigi Penzo, capacity 12,048, Venezia FC. This stadium is one of the most unique stadiums in Europe, and now the venue is back in Serie A. Located on the island of Sant'Elena, it is operated under conditions that have always limited its development since its opening in 1913. The stadium began as a modest venue with a single wooden stand and was only gradually expanded over the decades. Due to its location, all upgrades remained highly constrained. However, in Mestre, a new sports complex is being built, including an 18,500-seat stadium. The venue is scheduled for completion in 2027 and is expected to become the club's new home. 16th place, Unipol Domus, capacity 16,412, Cagliari Calcio. The story of Cagliari's current stadium is a rare example of an improvised infrastructure solution in Italian football. After Sant'Elia was deemed outdated and unsafe, the club had to quickly find an alternative to remain in the city. A temporary stadium was built using modular stands. Over time, structural elements were even moved between sites, highlighting the provisional nature of the project. Today, the stadium operates as Unipol Domus and, despite its modular design, provides stable Serie A conditions while still retaining its temporary character. 15th place, U-Power Stadium, capacity 17,102, AC Monza. AC Monza's return to Serie A after a one-year absence has once again drawn attention to U-Power Stadium, a venue combining long historical roots with gradual modernization. Although its current name comes from a sponsorship deal, the stadium's origins date back to the late 19th century. Construction of this venue began in the 1980s, and it was officially opened in 1988, though it was never a fully modern facility. Real improvements only began after the club's takeover by Fininvest in 2018, with renovations to stands, facilities, and adaptation to Serie A standards. Today, U-Power Stadium remains compact but functional. 14th place, Stadio Artemio Franchi, capacity 22,500, ACF Fiorentina. Fiorentina Stadium is currently undergoing one of the most intensive modernization phases in its history. Designed by Pier Luigi Nervi, the stadium was long regarded as a masterpiece of modernist architecture, but its infrastructure no longer meets contemporary standards. The redevelopment is driven by several factors: preparations for Euro 2032, Fiorentina's centenary, and European requirements. Works are being carried out at an accelerated pace, including night shifts and extended schedules, highlighting the pressure behind the project. 13th place, Stadio Ennio Tardini, capacity 23,324, Parma Calcio. It is one of the most symbolic stadiums in Italy. Opened in 1923, it was later renamed in honor of one of its founders. The stadium saw its greatest development in the 1990s, when Parma became one of Europe's leading clubs. It was expanded to over 30,000 seats and adapted to European competition standards. The introduction of mandatory seating in 1997 significantly reduced capacity and exposed structural limitations. Today, Tardini remains a venue of great historical value. but discussions about either a full reconstruction or a completely new stadium are increasingly present. 12th place, Mapei Stadium, capacity 21,525, US Sassuolo. Mapei Stadium in Reggio Emilia is recognized as the first privately financed stadium in Italy. Its construction was a response to Reggiana's promotion to Serie A and the lack of adequate infrastructure in the region. The project was funded through an unusual model. Fans purchased long-term season tickets in advance, while sponsors and banks also contributed. In total, around 11 million euros was raised, allowing the construction of a modern stadium for its time. In recent years, the venue has also gained recognition for its pitch quality, which was awarded the Most Valuable Field title for the 2025-26 season. 11th place, Stadio Via del Mare, capacity 31,445, US Lecce. Lecce is preparing for its 5th consecutive Serie A season, while at the same time undergoing the most significant renovation in years. The key element of the project is the construction of a full roof covering all stands, an unprecedented development in the stadium's history. The stadium is scheduled to be ready for the Mediterranean Games and then reopened for Serie A matches. In 1967, the stadium hosted a match between Lecce and Brazilian club Santos FC, where the legendary Pelé scored 3 goals. It previously held up to 55,000 spectators following a 1985 expansion. 10th place, Stadio Olimpico Grande Torino, capacity 28,177, Torino FC. The stadium in Turin, opened in 1933, remains one of the most historically important venues in Italy. Its defining feature is the Torre Maratona, a striking rationalist-style tower. The stadium underwent a major renovation ahead of the 2006 Winter Olympics, when Torino FC returned after years spent at Delle Alpi. The redevelopment modernized the venue while preserving key historical elements. A new modernization phase is now being considered under a public-private partnership model, including improvements to training facilities and the surrounding area. The biggest and most modern stadiums are still ahead of us. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, because more league rankings are coming soon. 9th place, Stadio Renato Dallara, capacity 36,532, Bologna FC. Renato Dallara is one of the most iconic stadiums in Italy. Opened in 1927, it was the first modern stadium of its kind in the country. Its most recognizable feature is the 42-meter Torre di Maratona, built in 1929, which still defines its silhouette today. Plans for renovation included a major redevelopment, but the project has stalled after 40 million euros in public funding was withdrawn. Costs have risen to around 230 million euros, significantly complicating implementation. As a result, there is growing consideration of building a completely new stadium in another part of the city, which would represent a fundamental shift in Bologna FC's infrastructure strategy. 8th place, PSC Arena, capacity 16,227, Frosinone Calcio. The stadium had stood unfinished for decades before Frosinone's rise finally gave the project real momentum. After the club's historic promotion to Serie A in 2015, work resumed on the long-delayed Casaleno site, combining a renovated main stand with new prefabricated sections and upgraded facilities. The result was the compact stadium, opened in 2017, with a distinctive C-shaped layout, stands very close to the pitch, clear sight lines, and a modern roof system integrated with floodlight pylons. 7th place, Stadio Luigi Ferraris, capacity 33,205, Genoa CFC. Opened in 1911, it is one of the oldest stadiums in Italy and the historic home of Genoa and Sampdoria. Named after Luigi Ferraris, a former Genoa player, engineer, and soldier who died during World War I, it carries a strong local identity. Its biggest modernization took place ahead of the 1990 World Cup, when it was rebuilt stand by stand. The stadium gained its distinctive embedded in the city structure, 4 separate towers and near-complete roof coverage, creating a unique match atmosphere. Today, it remains one of the most atmospheric stadiums in Italy, with further modernization still being considered in the context of Euro 2032. Sixth place, Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Capacity, 54,726. SSC Napoli. This stadium is one of Italy's most recognizable football venues and the longtime home of SSC Napoli. Opened in 1959 in Fuorigrotta, it was known for decades as San Paolo, before being renamed in 2020 in honor of Diego Maradona, the player most closely linked with Napoli's greatest era. With its vast bowl-shaped layout, the stadium has also staged major international football, including the Italy-Argentina semi-final at the 1990 World Cup. Many journalists and traveling fans who have visited numerous stadiums describe it as one of the grounds in the worst condition. Its current modernization plans, connected to Euro 2032 ambitions, focus on solving long-standing structural and visibility issues while keeping the club at its historic home in Naples. Fifth place, New Balance Arena. Capacity, 23,439. Atalanta, BC. Atalanta Stadium underwent a full redevelopment between 2019 and 2024, becoming one of the most modern football venues in Italy. It was one of the few stadium projects in Italy to be completed, and it is hardly surprising that this success came in the north rather than in the south of the country. The new end stands replace the old curved structures, significantly improving visibility, acoustics, and matchday atmosphere. The side stands were also modernized while preserving selected historic elements from 1928, keeping a visible link with the ground's original character. An underground parking facility was added, along with modern lighting systems and upgraded service areas for supporters. Since 2025, it has been known as New Balance Arena. Fourth place, Blunergy Stadium. Capacity, 25,132. Udinese Calcio. The renovation of Friuli began after 2012, when Udinese took over the stadium on a long-term lease and decided on a full redevelopment. The athletics track was removed, bringing the stands closer to the pitch. New structures were built in phases between 2014 and 2016 using prefabricated elements. It is a modest but well-executed investment, one that showed other clubs in Italy that building a modern and functional stadium is still possible. A distinctive feature of the stadium is its facade made of over 10,000 stainless steel panels, giving it a modern, industrial appearance. The venue also became one of Italy's rare club-controlled stadiums, allowing Zibretti to develop it beyond match days. Third place, Stadio Olimpico. Capacity, 70,634. AS Roma and SS Lazio. Olimpico was originally built in the 1930s, with its modern form completed after post-war redevelopment in 1953, when it was inaugurated with an Italy-Hungary match. It underwent major renovations for the 1960 Olympics and the 1990 World Cup, including expanded stands and a distinctive roof structure. Shared by Roma and Lazio, it remains central to football in the capital. It is one of the most important stadiums in Southern Europe, and the wider complex also includes the tennis courts used for Rome's prestigious tournament. Since 2000, upgrades have focused mainly on spectator comfort and VIP areas. The stadium is still one of the largest in Italy and regularly hosts major European finals. Second place, Allianz Stadium. Capacity, 41,507. Juventus FC. Allianz Stadium was built between 2009 and 2011 on the site of the former Delle Alpi and remains one of the few major Italian stadiums constructed in the 21st century. It was also one of the first modern football-specific stadiums in Europe. The venue is known for its compact design, close proximity of stands to the pitch, and strong commercial and VIP infrastructure. It remains a very relevant stadium, one that has aged well, even if its capacity is not especially large for a club of such stature. It has a capacity of around 41,000 spectators. Its signature feature is the set of club-colored steel pylons supporting the cable roof system, giving it a distinctive modern identity and instantly recognizable silhouette. First place, Stadio San Siro. Capacity, 75,817. AC Milan and Inter. San Siro opened in 1926 as AC Milan's home ground and was designed as a football-only venue, without an athletics track, inspired by English stadiums. Inter have shared it since 1947. Its largest renovations took place between slightly after that and ahead of the 1990 World Cup, when a third tier, roof, and iconic supporting towers were added. Officially named after Giuseppe Meazza in 1980, it remains one of the great symbols of Milanese football. If we had to choose the three most iconic football stadiums in the world, there is a very strong chance that San Siro would belong in such elite company. Today, its future is under pressure as AC Milan and Inter continue pursuing a new stadium, though proposals for preservation and repurposing have also appeared. Is San Siro among the top 3 most iconic football stadiums in the world? Join the discussion in the comments, and we're already preparing the next league rankings. Stay updated on our social media. See you soon.